Welcome to Fridays for Fundraising. In the next 5 minutes, you're going to learn one step you can take before you leave the office today that can move fundraising forward for your small nonprofit. Hi, I'm Kelly, founder of From Scratch Fundraising, where we help nonprofit leaders raise more dough without burning anything. Every Friday, I'm here to serve up one bite-sized fundraising assignment that you can tackle in about an hour. Think of it as your weekly recipe for sustainable fundraising success. No overwhelm, just actionable steps that actually move the needle. This month, we're starting to work on our year-end campaigns. If you're just tuning in, let me encourage you to go back to our October 3rd episode and start there. Listen to each episode from there so that you're following along in building up your year-end campaign. This week, I want to talk to you about drafting your social media content. Unpopular opinion. I don't actually advise my clients to do a lot of direct asking on social media. If you think about donor relationships like real life relationships, which best case they should be, it makes sense why you don't want to ask on social media. Let me put it in real terms. If you're moving and need some help doing that, do you blast it out on social media? Hey, everybody who possibly follows me on this platform, we're moving next week. Who can lend a hand in our move? Or do you ask a couple of close friends via email or text? Personally, I do the latter. We do better when we use social media to give people a reason to engage with our nonprofit on our real estate. That is our website, our email list, our physical location, if you have one. And build the relationship when they are on our turf. I'm not saying you can't ask for money on social media. I just don't tend to see it work well for smaller nonprofits. It's great for brand name nonprofits who just need to pop in their logo and people give. It's not as strategic a move for small nonprofits where most people who are encountering you don't really know who you are. However, social media can still be a critical component of your year-end campaign when you use social media to get people onto your real estate, particularly your email list or physical location. Let's talk about how this works, best case scenario. Think about social media as a way for people to scope out your nonprofit. You want to be regularly posting things like updates, stories, videos, all of this content. There are plenty of people who can talk you through that. The idea is people are getting a sense of who you are. Every so often, though, you want to post a lead generation post where you're asking people to take some kind of action off of social media that gets them onto your email list. For example, if you're a wildlife refuge, you could post a guide to the animals in your refuge as a downloadable that people get in exchange for their email. One example I love is from the organization Wait Until 8th. They ask parents of elementary school aged children to pledge to delay getting their child a smartphone until 8th grade. And once you take the pledge, they send all kinds of helpful tips on screen safety, online safety, keeping kids off screens, how to implement screen limits at home. This gives parents a really compelling reason to engage with the organization and to give their email address. It's an opportunity to benefit from the organization before being solicited. And then they engage the parent in their larger work, again, before asking for any kind of contribution. So think about for your organization how you might set up some kind of compelling lead generation option. Surveys, quizzes, downloadable resources, pledges, and petitions are all really popular options. You can also just offer a newsletter sign up, but give people a clear why for joining the newsletter. Make sure it's clear how they benefit from being on your newsletter. Getting updates from your organization usually isn't enticing enough. You want to mix up your social media posts between sharing posts, lead generation posts, and maybe 1 in 5 can be an ask for financial contributions. How I usually do year-end social media posts for my clients, I start posting more lead generation style emails a couple of weeks before my email campaign or my year-end campaign is set to start. And I make sure I have a 2 to 3 email welcome series that quickly builds knowledge of the organization. Then I post regular updates according to our general content calendar. The day before an email is set to go out, I like to post a lead generation style post to social media to try and grow my list before the email goes out. The day after I send an email, I post something that kind of summarizes or recaps the email and makes the ask. So pick up your content calendar and take a look. What social media would make sense using that framework? That's your assignment this week. Want the templates and tools to make this even easier? Head over to FromScratchFundraising.com/year-end to grab this month's free resource, a year-end campaign planner. I've already done the heavy lifting. You just need to customize it for your organization. Today's assignment will be much easier for you if you hop over there and grab the template to get you started. If you are loving these weekly assignments and want the complete recipe for fundraising success, consider joining our Sustain and Thrive program. It's a 12-month program that takes you from setting up your fundraising foundation all the way through donor stewardship, board engagement around fundraising, and expansion strategies like major gifts, peer-to-peer fundraising, event-based fundraising, and even more. We break down the monumental task of building a fundraising program into manageable, bite-sized assignments, just like this podcast, but with coaching support, a community of peers, unlimited access to all of my templates and all of my trainings. The best part is that pricing starts at just $25 a month for organizations with budgets under $100,000 per year. It's just $75 per month for organizations with under a $500,000 budget. Because fundraising support shouldn't leave you feeling like a burnt crust. Join us in Sustain and Thrive, where we are putting the fun back into fundraising. Go to FromScratchFundraising.com/apply to join today. Quick reminder, if you haven't already, you're going to go over to FromScratchFundraising.com/year-end. You're going to grab the campaign planner. If you haven't been following along, go back to our October 3rd episode and build up from there. This week, your assignment is to refine your social media strategy and write your social media content to correspond with your emails. Remember, fundraising success isn't guesswork. It's following the recipe. See you next week when we'll talk about getting everything set up and programmed in your systems so that you can set it and then monitor your campaign.
Now go make the world a better place.